Hello everyone, it's me Tiger. Welcome back to another episode of our Let's Play here on Sedona Island. Today's episode is going to be a bit different. I'm going to be taking you guys through my island planning process. This video will be a lot of talking with some gameplay happening in the background. I'm not going to plan out specific builds because I usually like to do that as I go, but we're going to talk about my island theme a bit more, discuss my Dreamie list, create some lore for the island, find custom designs, and look at some inspo. I hope that this video can help any of you who are also starting a new island in Animal Crossing New Horizons, or help you if you are just struggling to plan out your current island. In the last episode of Sedona, I revealed the island theme, towncore. A lot of you guys seem to be very excited, but there was a bit of confusion. It's really hard to explain the aesthetic I want for this island, and the images I showed you weren't the best, I think. I don't think you guys will really understand until we start building on the island, but I wanted to try my best and explain it in more detail. It's important to note that your island does not need to have a theme. I just use themes to better describe what my island is and to help others see what I'm intending my island to be. Really, this is just my version of towncore. When coming up with an island theme or trying to decide what I want my island to look like, I think about real life places that I have either been to or seen that resemble what I want my island to resemble. Whenever I say towncore, I think of my small Texas hometown. I think of rundown gas stations, empty parking lots, big fields, a quiet lake, and a mix of new and old structures. There are nice newer businesses, but the town also has old abandoned buildings that add personality and history. I also get a feeling of nostalgia and comfort. Although I rarely visit my hometown and honestly don't wish to, I still get those feels. My hometown has a big lake nearby where a lot of its residents spend time doing activities like fishing, swimming, and camping. Really a lot of outdoor activities. I also think of a close-knit community where everyone is neighbors. Basically, everyone knows everyone. I think that this is perfect for Animal Crossing New Horizons since we only have 10 villagers on our islands and they most definitely all know each other. The islands are also fairly small, so they kind of already fit the small town feel. For privacy, I won't show any images of my hometown, but I hope that this description gives you a better mental image. Now let's look at some Animal Crossing inspiration. When looking at Animal Crossing islands for inspiration, I'm not necessarily looking at the theme or island aesthetic in the images. Instead, I look for build features and design details that I think would look great on my island. I think that this is honestly a great way to find inspiration and a good tip to share with you guys. In simpler terms, you do not only have to look at fairy core inspiration when wanting to get inspired for your fairy core island. I'm only using fairy core as an example here, but I hope that that makes sense. It was really hard to find any islands that resembled my version of towncore, but I did pull a lot of inspo from other Animal Crossing creators who had different themes. Take this photo for example. I really love this one. It does not embody the island theme that I want, but I love the way the water feature looks here with this specific bridge. I screenshotted this image because I want to have some sort of bridge feature that looks like this on my island. I'm thinking of building a big lake with a small hiking trail that leads to my island's campsite, so maybe I could do this bridge in that area, but my island won't be like in this theme, and when I build this bridge with a water feature that's similar to this, it won't look like this. But instead, I will take this as like an idea and kind of morph it to my island and to fit my theme by using different colors and different items, etc. I also screenshotted this Instagram post by Lottie.crossing. I really liked the layout of the neighborhood in this image. I don't want to use the exact color scheme or even a brick pathway, but I saved this one strictly for the layout. I think this could really work for my island neighborhood if I changed up the item choice and colors. This picture is definitely from a more spooky, like fall themed island, but I love how this is their entrance. It's very simple simple, and when I think of small towns, I think of simple. I like the way the shrubs and trees look here at the front. I think I'll definitely use more furniture in my entrance, but I'm thinking of doing something similar to this with little terraforming and more of a flat look. Catland.isle also had so much inspiration for big open fields on their Instagram page. They even built a really cool tractor on their island, and I was just in awe. It's super amazing. This is exactly what I picture when I think of big open fields in my hometown. I don't want my entire island to look like this, but I definitely want some big fields on the outskirts of the island, maybe even at the entrance, because whenever you pull into my hometown from out of town, like if you're traveling to my hometown, there's lots of fields all around the town, but then once you actually go through those fields, you arrive in the more city-like part of the town, if that makes any sense. Lastly, I screenshotted this photo. I love the way that they've used the city-like streets mixed with a more natural feel. I want my island to be a little bit more city-like than this, but I really liked this photo. As for the design codes I will use on Sedona, here are just a few I've come across so far. I definitely am not like set in stone on these codes, and I definitely want to find more. I'm really excited to use these though, especially the school bus codes. I think that they are so cool, and I've been saving a lot of codes on my Pinterest for a really long time. If you want to keep up with my Pinterest board for this island, I will link it down below. I add inspiration pics and custom designs to it pretty often. I also have a bunch of other boards on my Pinterest for different themes, so if you're interested in looking at that, please follow my Pinterest. It's in the description. Now let's talk about Sedona's villager lineup. As you may know, I made a video similar to this for my Fairy Core island. I listed my dreamies like this, and now 7 months later, I only have I think 2 villagers from the list that I made. So I can't promise that I will stick to this list, but I definitely want to try. First off, we have our chicken couple, Benedict and Plucky. I love the chicken villagers in this game. I think that they're so underrated and they're so darn cute. They will fit perfectly on my island. I want them to live next to each other and be the island's couple, all that stuff. I also want to invite some comfort villagers. As I said before, when I think of towncore, I think of nostalgia and comfort. So I will be inviting my 2 most favorite villagers to this island, Fauna and Celia. They bring me so much comfort in this game and also nostalgia. I really want them to both live in Sedona. We also gotta bring Boomer to the island because we all know small towns are full of boomers. Alice and Shep have also made their way onto my Dreamie list. I think they have the perfect small town feels. Shep could be a musician and Alice could be a small town girl who wants nothing other than to move away to the big city. Lastly, I want to invite Vivian to Sedona. She is so pretty and gives me big librarian vibes. I want her to be like the school teacher of the island, so maybe we could build her a library and like a classroom. I know, guys, that's only 8 villagers. The last 2 villagers, I'm gonna leave it up to you. Comment down below who you think should live on my island, who would fit in well with these other 8 villagers. I will make a more official poll later, but I want to start hearing your ideas now, so be sure to comment down below. I've decided to do something I usually don't do for my islands, which is to give Sedona some lore, some backstory, if you will. I wrote a little essay, I guess, kind of a paragraph to tell the story of the island. I'll read it to you now, but disclaimer, it's not finished, it's not done, it's just kind of like the beginning. I really want to add on to this, and I want you guys to also add on to it and contribute, so comment down below your ideas for the lore as well. Sedona Island is a small island only accessible by plane. After a tragic crash about a decade ago, most of the island residents wouldn't dare to travel by boat. Sedona has been here for a while, and so have most of its people. Everybody knows everybody in this small town. Recently, a rich man named Tom Nook bought the island of Sedona in an attempt to pull it out of its lonesome and bring more businesses and people to the island. The island residents are in a constant battle with Mr. Nook, trying to save old buildings and prevent new ones from erasing the island's history. Benedict and Plucky, the island's longest staying residents, other than Boomer, and the cutest chicken couple ever, are the strongest leaders of the town. Everyone looks up to them and relies on their advice. The 2 chickens are always finding ways to outsmart Mr. Nook's politics and keep the island remotely the way it is, the way it will hopefully continue to be. The only place they don't have to worry about changing is Sedona Lake. Not even Mr. Nook dares to visit the lake at night. Century-old tales and many of the island residents believe Sedona Lake to be haunted. Only one person lives at the lake, Boomer. Boomer takes care of everything related to Sedona Lake, and Mr. Nook has no problem with this, even though he claims to not believe in the spooky stories. All of the children in the Sedona area are under Vivian's responsibility. She is the only school teacher in Sedona and is often occupied by teaching, babysitting, and reading. You could say she is the mother of Sedona, even for its older residents. People look to Vivian for any information, especially about Sedona's history. That's all of the lore I have for Sedona at this point. I wanted to see if you guys had any ideas or suggestions before continuing. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with, and I can't wait to build this island and continue the backstory. I really want this island to be like my favorite island I've ever built, something that has a little bit more than just decor, something that has a story and something that I feel connected to. That's why I'm kind of basing it on my hometown and inviting my favorite villagers. I'm also taking my time with this island, so yes, I am playing it slow at the beginning. A lot of you guys were like, I finished all this stuff on day 1, and I'm like, I know I could finish it sooner, but I'm taking my time because that's something I haven't done before with New Horizons. I've always rushed through the beginning just to get to 3 stars, just to decorate the island and then delete it afterwards and start a new one. This time I really want to focus on just enjoying the game and building something that I'm really proud of that is more than just what it looks like. That's all of the planning I've done so far, and I hope you have a better idea of what Sedona Island will be. Please consider subscribing to my channel and leaving a like on this video if you want to follow Sedona's progress and see my other Animal Crossing content as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day or night. I will see you guys next time. Bye!